Hey guys, and welcome back to So What Do You Do Again? Today I'm here with Michelle Lee, the fashion and beauty editor of Teen Vogue. Michelle is also a stylist and all-around creative, and also one of the sweetest girls I know. So hi Michelle, I'm so excited to have you on.
Hi, so excited to be here.
Thank you. Thank you for welcoming me into your beautiful apartment. I was looking at your apartment, like the exclusive you did. I forget what site was that.
Oh, on Lonnie magazine.
Yeah, it's so beautiful.
I know, my parents were so excited about that. They were like, now when we sell the apartment, we're not going to have to take pictures of it.
They're like, look, the apartment has press. So tell us about growing up in Carmel, Indiana.
Growing up in Carmel, Indiana was pretty crazy. We first grew up in Greenwood, Indiana, and it was like we were the only Asian family there, which was always, I really never noticed it until like we moved to Carmel and we were surrounded by so many other Asian families where I was like, holy shit, like this is what it's like. And like then looking back at Greenwood, Indiana, I was like, wow, that was like pretty fucked up. Cause like I remember one year I like went to China and like I had to like give a presentation to my class about like what China was and like what China was like and stuff, and like it was just very weird.
Were they just not understanding?
Yeah, like they're just
like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, it was like a tiny town in like Indiana, you know?
Yeah.
Like that, I feel like there was like a lot of racism that happened there that like we just never even realized until like we left. Like our pumpkins would be smashed during Halloween.
Really?
Like random stuff, like someone like egged my dad's car, random stuff like that, where because my parents, they immigrated here from China and they went to school at IU, totally like didn't get the culture, so like they would just see that stuff and be like, oh, that's so weird, like what's happening. They wouldn't get like scared, or they wouldn't think that it was like associated with their race.
Got it.
So it was very interesting.
So it got better once you moved to Carmel?
Yeah, Carmel had a lot more Asian families.
Why do you think that?
I'm not sure. I think it was just because it was like more suburban, more quiet, and a lot of Asians, a lot of Chinese people went to IU for graduate school. And I think a lot of them just relocated to Carmel, Indiana.
When did you take your first trip to China?
Oh my gosh. I think I was like so young. I think I was like 5 or 6 years old.
Wow.
Yeah. And it was awesome.
Were you like bright-eyed, like where the fuck are we? And also I see so many people who look like me. This is amazing.
Yeah, I was just talking to my friend about how I would love to live in Asia, at least at some point in my life, just to be able to walk out the door and see a bunch of people who look like you, and it's not weird. I mean, in New York City, people are used to Asian people, so it's kind of whatever, but it still would feel nice to just be surrounded by a bunch of people that look like you all the time.
And also seeing people who look like you also in these high, powerful positions.
Yeah.
Because they're running their own businesses. They're just doing all these badass things.
Yeah,
It's
for
something
sure.
I think about a lot too, like especially with all my friends who like go back to Nigeria or back to the Caribbean or anywhere that, you know, people who look like us thrive.
Yeah.
And it's such a different, I don't know, thought process to think about growing up somewhere where you see people who are continuing to be successful who are like you, and you'd be like, oh wait, I can do that too.
Yeah, for sure.
Growing up, like when did you know you wanted to work in fashion?
I think it was in high school, like freshman year. We had like a sewing class, and so I took the sewing class, and like you made a dress and stuff, and then at the end of the year you had a runway show.
Oh, that's
and
fun.
So like we all had a runway show, and I just really loved it. And it was like kind of in the peak of blogger culture, where I remember following Susie Bubble on Lookbook, and I just like loved her like outfits and stuff, and I would always just come up with crazy outfits, and because I could sew, I would just make crazy things and just take pictures of myself with a self timer, and
I love that.
That was like how I spent days after school.
Did you have your own lookbook account?
No, I didn't.
Oh my
I
God.
only observed from afar, but it was like,
be happy because I just Googled myself and
Oh
you
my
can see my old
God.
lookbook photo.
wait, I need to see.
It is like me and my friend my best friend from home, Becky, we would like go in their backyard, which was a fucking forest, and we would just take these really dramatic photos. I'll show you after, but it's like scary.
I love that.
I'll show you.
Oh my god, I never had that. Like, I feel like I like look on Facebook and I'm like, damn, that was a good outfit I put together. But
I love
like
that.
one of my brother's friends was also a photographer, and he was like, and so I would be like the stylist, and I would like style shoots for him and like stuff like that, and it was just like, so much fun.
I think it's always fun to have a friend who's always down to just do stupid things with.
Yeah, like a collaborator.
Yeah. What was your style like as a teenager?
I think it was very like, I loved like poofy things. I feel like that was like, so even now when I see things, I see myself like gravitate towards the poofy big tulle dresses, big sleeves, like a big skirt, stuff like that.
I feel like that still is trickling into your style now.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like now I'm like more focused on color combinations, but before it was all about like puffy things.
You're like, just the bigger the better.
Yeah. Like even when I see it on the runway now, I'm just like a part of me, my past self gets excited. And I'm like, oh my god.
The Jeremy Scott and Moschino show
Yeah.
are your favorites.
Yeah. I'm a closet Jeremy Scott fan.
From high school, you went on to go to Parsons. Why did you choose Parsons?
I think because I wanted to be in the city, for sure. I just wanted to be here, and I knew that once I got myself to New York City, I think I could find a way to wiggle my way into like some kind of internship that could potentially turn into something. So that was my main thing. I was just like, I want to be in New York City. I think I can make it happen if I just get to New York City.
And you got to intern a lot while you were just in here. Do you feel like you had a bit of an advantage already living in New York?
Yeah, for sure. I think I had like such an advantage. It's like such a privilege to be able to intern for free. My parents really supported me, or else like shout out mom and dad, or else like I really don't think I would have been able to do it. I was also still working. I worked at Brandy Melville.
Oh my god,
it was so weird. But yeah, I worked at Brandy Melville like while interning and stuff. But yeah, I got to intern a lot, and I did a bunch of different internships. Interned at Carla Auto and then I interned at Valentino doing as a market assistant.
Trying to figure out
everything.
Yeah. Which is, it can be kind of difficult, especially in the fashion industry. There's so many avenues you can go to. Yeah. When did you kind of figure out that you wanted to go into publications?
I think it was my internship at Nylon. I was working with Rachel Wang and Marissa Smith. Yeah. I know. It was like I feel like I was so lucky to be able to have like really good bosses that were, oh, come on set. Like you'll learn how it all works, and like you can assist me. Like
they really wanted you to learn.
Exactly. Whereas like a lot of times like internships, it's like they just want you to do things for them. Yeah. But Rachel and Marissa were so invested in helping me learn which brands we pull from, how to find new brands, how to put in a safety pin, like stuff that's so simple, but like they really took the time to teach you everything. And I want to be them when I grow up. I want to be like a good boss, and I want to be someone who is supporting young designers and stuff like that.
What you're doing through all of the shoots that you're like styling and putting out there in all of your articles, so shout out you.
Thank you. Yeah, I hope so. I'm getting there.
You are. I feel like when in my first internship at 17 magazine, I remember that night leaving. I think I left at like 10 o'clock and just crying and being like, this is way more difficult than I thought it was.
Yeah, I know,
because you kind of get sold into this idea that the fashion industry internships in the publications are like this fun light air, like you're just gonna go get coffee and then I don't know, play with clothes. It's like so much more than that.
Yeah.
Like, was it coming from, I guess technically a small town and being thrown into the city, was it a hard transition for you?
I think it was really hard for me. Just like kind of learning how to deal with everyone's personalities. It made me make my own personal personality very small. I was like, I'm just going to be like this sponge and like this fly on the wall and just absorb everyone's personalities, because I don't know how to deal with everyone's personalities. Even now, I'm kind of like learning how to get my own personality back and have a personality in the workplace, because I feel like I've just been such a pushover a lot of times. I think it really did benefit me early on. Like my dad kind of told me that you can learn something from everyone. Even if like you don't like them, you have something to learn from everyone. And I think I really took that with me. And so for me, these are all these personalities. Everyone's kind of trying to do their own thing. They're all kind of insecure. And I just need to figure out how to work with them and make things work. And yeah, it was really hard. I feel like there were so many times where I hate myself. I don't know how to be myself. And like, I'm just like this like lowly intern. Like, I don't know what to do.
I feel like I still feel like that sometimes.
Yeah, it's the
city is
imposter
crazy.
syndrome.
How do you continue to push past like negative thoughts and, you know, thrive in a city that is full of such big personalities that you mentioned?
I think it's kind of just reminding yourself that you earned it. For me, I'm always just like, I earned this, and be like really unapologetic, which like I feel like I've really kind of come into this past couple of months where I'm just kind of like, I earned this. I learned so much, and now it's my turn to really use what I learned and use these opportunities and make the best out of it.
Post Parsons, you went off to go to Refinery 29. Tell me about like your journey there through that, because you were there for 4 years and you really built yourself up and went through different positions.
Yeah, Refinery 29 was my last internship. I was in college and I was interning there actually because Marissa Smith introduced me to Bethy, the fashion styling editor. And so I started working with Bethy and interning as a styling assistant for them, but then they didn't really have a position for me, so I moved over to like the editorial side, which is where I really learned how to write and do these market stories, because before I was really only styling. And then I just really wanted to stay, but the editorial side didn't have room for me either. So I found a position on the social media team, and I was running the Instagram for a year.
Wow.
And
what was that like?
It was pretty rough.
Yeah.
Doing a brand's Instagram is really hard because
I feel
everyone
like just doing my own, I'm like, I can't do this shit anymore.
Yeah, for sure. You're like doing your own, but then you're doing this brand's Instagram where like everyone cares about it. Everyone's like, oh, what are you posting? Blah, blah. Can you just like throw in this post? We have to do a favor. You know, like people always sell Instagrams as like a favor to a brand or something, like, and then the captions take forever. We were posting 8 times a day.
Wow.
It was just so stressful because everyone cared so much about it. There were too many cooks in the kitchen, and I really didn't like it. I was like on all the time, like working Saturdays and Sundays too. And I think it's especially hard when it's like, you don't want to be doing this. Like I wanted to be a fashion editor. So I'm breaking my ass doing this stuff, and I don't even want to be doing it.
But you wanted to work for the brand.
Yeah, and I wanted to work for the brand so badly that I was just like, I'm just going to stick it out and wait until a position opens up. And then finally a position opened up on the styling team, and
You're like,
really,
hello.
I was like, I really want to move over there. I'm so sorry, social media
You're
team.
like refreshing
but, like,
the jobs page, like,
yeah.
wait, hey guys. Just
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I was like, okay, so it's happening finally.
You're like, I'm just gonna move my shit over here.
Yeah.
It's great to see you guys.
Yeah. So I was really lucky that I was able to move over, and then like I think I had an edge because I was also styling but also could write stories. I was pretty much on 2 team edit and styling team.
Yeah.
I think that was what kind of gave me an edge.
And
for
then
sure.
so once you moved over to the styling team, what were you like, what was your position?
I think it was like associate style editor. Yeah.
And then did you stay in that position through the time that you were at Refinery?
And then my boss, she was the style director, she left. So then the style team merged with the editorial team, and so I became the associate market editor.
Got it.
Yeah.
Was it any different from your previous position, or was it just more so a different title?
Not really. It was more so a different title. Yeah. But it was very like, it was even that like I had to fight for it, you know, like once I caught wind that, I think it was just like, you really have to vouch for yourself because you know no one else is going to vouch for you.
Exactly.
Like when I found out that there was a position opening up on the styling team, I was like, okay, like time to take coffee meetings with everyone on the style team so that I can like get my foot in the door and see what I can do to move over. And then when my style director was leaving, I was like, okay, time to meet with everyone, be proactive and set up all these meetings and vouch for yourself and be like, this is what I want a promotion, like I can do all these things.
I've been here for X, Y, and Z years. Like,
yeah,
let's get this coin. And so now you're at Teen Vogue. How was the transition of leaving Refinery 29, which is kind of the first company you worked for in the sense of right out of college, and it's something that you wanted to work for so long? Was it hard leaving?
Yeah, it was pretty hard making the decision because I think I was like, I grew up here. Refinery has a lot of people that they nurture. And I always thought that I would be one of those people. And I was, oh, maybe one day they'll start to nurture me and like give me my own franchise and let me go to all these things as Refinery 29. I think once I kind of came to that realization that they weren't really going to nurture me, I was, okay, I need to make the move. And yeah, and it was hard because it was kind of like you're kind of letting go of a dream.
Yeah.
And you're letting go of like a place that's given you so much to go somewhere new. But I think it was nice because Teen Vogue felt very familiar to me. This is like a step up. I get to try something new, but it's also something old.
Yeah,
because like they have the same vibe. Like the articles we write are similar. So
what has been your favorite editorial that you worked on for Teen Vogue?
Ooh, I think it was this Coco Gauff cover that I did.
It
with
looks really good.
Camila Falquez. I was just like, it was such a crazy day because I went to Disney World that weekend.
I love that.
So I was like in Orlando, Florida.
Yeah.
And then I was flying back to New York on Sunday night, but my flight got delayed. So it got so delayed that like I got back to New York at like 6 a.m. and then I had another flight to Florida to do this photo shoot at 9 a.m. But I had to run home and grab all of the clothing. And it was like 3 huge duffel bags. And so I got off the plane from Florida, ran home, grabbed all these duffel bags, and you know I live in a 5-floor walk up, so I was like lugging it down the stairs, like literally throwing it down the stairs. I think everyone in the building hates me now. and then I just rushed to the airport and got on the other flight back to Florida.
Oh my God.
And then I flew back that night. So I like flew to Florida 3 times in 48 hours. It was so nuts. But when I was on set, it was so rewarding. It was such a good feeling. It was my first cover shoot. I was just, this is like the most amazing feeling ever. Like
when they told you, oh, can you style this cover shoot? Were you like, what the fuck? Yes.
Yeah.
What was going through your head?
I was just, yes. Like, I don't know. Lindsay was so nonchalant about it. She was just like, can you come in my office really quick? And I was like, yeah, totally, sure. And she was like, I think you should style this Coco Gauff cover shoot. That's so crazy. God. And she was like, do you think you have the bandwidth? And I was like, of course. Like, I will do anything. Like, it was one of those moments where I love working. I don't mind working.
Yeah.
I always have the bandwidth, you know? I don't mind working a lot. So when she said that, I was just like so grateful that she would give me the opportunity to do it.
One feeling that I'm always thinking about, and sometimes just in our job, and I feel maybe you have this feeling too, where you look around and you're like, oh fuck, wait, I'm an adult.
Yeah.
Like I deadass forget my age.
Oh my
like,
God, same.
Oh shit, this year I'm turning 26. What? I'm a real adult. Do you ever feel that way where you're like, okay, wait, maybe I should reevaluate what I'm doing or the decisions I'm making because I'm an actual adult and I'm not in college anymore?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like I always am like, oh, when I grow up, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
And then now I'm like, and I said it the other day and I was just like, wait, what? Like when is that? Like I'm literally grown up now, you know? I don't know. I feel like in so many ways I'm such a baby still. Yeah. Anytime I make a doctor's appointment, I'll like call my parents first. I'm just like, hey, just going to get my teeth cleaned. Like I made an appointment.
Like, okay, why are you telling us?
Yeah.
It was up until like 2 years ago where I stopped making my own appointments. I would like call my mom and I'll be like, hey mom, like can you make this appointment for me? She's like, I'm at work, can you do it? Mom, like I'm like, what do you mean? You have the number.
Yeah, you have the number. You already
like,
know
I can
all the things.
Send you the number. I'm like, no, you have it, just do it. Like I don't understand why this is an issue.
Yeah, I totally do that too. But it does feel like things are settling in more.
Yeah.
Things are more permanent now. And I feel like coming to that realization is like really crazy. Because you're kind of like, oh, fuck, like everything is so much more. Every decision you make is so permanent. Yeah. And I think for me, I was like, I've been thinking a lot recently of like what I want to do next because I really haven't thought further than like being a fashion editor. That was like always my dream. And now I'm kind of like, okay, now I have to like think of a new dream, like and brainstorm what I want to be doing next.
Do you hate when people ask you, so what's next? When you're like, I'm doing what I'm doing now. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah, I'm just like, what else do you want from me? Like, I did this. Like, yeah.
Like, let me just tell you the future right now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a hard question. I get it constantly, and I'm constantly like, I honestly do not know. This is like what you just said. Like, this has always been the dream. This has always been the end all be all. I never really thought past it.
Yeah.
And also, especially in the positions that we are in, our future can look so different than what it is now, and God knows, like, we can be the next Elaine with a TV show on the way. God bless. I hope that comes.
Yes, same. I'm like, I need that energy.
I need that.
Yeah.
What do you want to manifest for yourself within this year, though?
I think I want to find a way to work towards being a director.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's a lot of like working with cool people, working with photographers I really like, makeup artists, models. Like, I think it's something along those lines where I want to keep improving and keep working with people at like a higher level than me, because then I can keep learning. Anytime I work with really good photographer, I'm just like, oh my, I can't believe this photographer is down to work with me, you know? And I learned so much from them. And I think that's what, like, I want to keep building my portfolio and keep working with more creatives and just getting my name out there.
I love that. Do you have any mentors? It doesn't have to be like a direct mentor. It could be someone who just actually doesn't even know that they're your mentor.
Oh my God. I think it's
just
crazy.
A huge stan.
Yeah. I think it's crazy because I think it's Leandra Medine. It's so funny because I've been following her ever since high school. Even now when I see her at runway shows and stuff, I'm just like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm so close to Leandra.
You're
know?
Like in the same room, you're watching the same show. It's
yeah,
kind of crazy.
Yeah. And I feel that way about Susie Bubble too, where I'm just like, oh my God, we literally like brushed shoulders. That's nuts.
We're like,
to
we're
me.
best friends now. Hi.
It's nuts.
And I know we were just mentioning this before we got on the episode, but talking about how people are looking up to you, right? And so many young women and men who are just in awe of you, which for me, sometimes I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck I'm doing half the time. You want to look up, like, you want to look up to me? Like, you want advice from me?
Yeah, I'm just like, I had like a hot dog for breakfast. Like, me?
Barely, without the bun. Like, but like, how do you, I guess, handle when people like come up to you and talk about how they admire you or just DM you, and like, how do you deal with that?
I don't know. I think at first I was like so stressed out because I was like, I bet I'm so disappointing to these people in person. Like, if they come up to me on the street and they're like, oh my God, Michelle, I like your like stories on Teen Vogue. And I feel like I'm just, oh my God, hi, what's your name? And I get to know them and stuff. And then after the interaction's over, I'm just like, am I so disappointing to them? Was I totally not, did I not live up to their expectations? And I feel like I would just like spiral about that interaction and stuff. But I think like at the end of the day, when I was younger and like what I would have wanted someone to say to me, and I think I would have just wanted them to be real, be a human being. When I was younger, I would have loved, this sounds crazy and kind of egotistical, but I'm like, I'm just like, I kind of would have loved to see someone like me have like an older sister, older mentor like me to like look up to. And if I ever ran into them on the street when I was in high school, I would have loved them to just like be like, what's your name? You're so cute, all this stuff. And just feel like I like met a real person finally.
Yeah, because it's always disappointing to meet someone and they not, in terms of their personality and the way that they treat you, and they not treat you in the best way. And you're just like, damn, like, I really looked up to you and you're treating me like shit. This sucks. So I think that's really important that you're making sure that you're treating them as you, and also showing them that you're a human being and that you go through different things and different struggles as well, and that you're just more than happy for them to even come up to you.
Yeah.
Because I've definitely had that interaction when I was I think I was a junior, and it was my summer interning in New York. And I remember I spotted this editor across the street in Soho, and I was a psychopath though also. I like ran across the street to like get to her because I was so obsessed with her.
I've done that before too though.
But then she was not that inviting, and also told me not to get into fashion, and it was just really sad. And I didn't go into, like, I went into PR because I was like, oh no, like she told me not to be in editorial, like there's no money in it, like I shouldn't do this. And it was just it kind of set me back for a little bit. So I think those interactions are really important.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I know I've had that too, actually, where I've like been so excited to meet someone and then they're just like so jaded and negative. I think like for me, like I think I can be that way where I can be kind of negative about the fashion industry. But like if I'm speaking to someone who wants to get in it, I will always make sure to preface it with something. These are my own experiences. Like everyone's experience is different. You have to take my word with like a grain of salt because there are so many people in the industry and everyone has a different experience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I did have a good experience though.
Ooh.
I met Elaine for the first time. I'm obsessed with her. It's like kind of crazy. My boyfriend knows it because every time at dinners I'll be like, oh, I think Elaine is supposed to sit next to me, and then she doesn't show up, and I'm so disappointed.
Oh my god.
But this time I met her and she was actually a ball of light, like so nice. Like you would think we were the best of friends, and I was like, wow, I want to be like that when people meet me, if they were ever to be like, oh, Naomi, you're so cool, and I'll be like, I don't know, but yeah. But I love that you are able to also be that person where you're just welcoming and you want to make sure that they understand that your opinions is so different from other people's experiences as well.
I know. I feel like it's like really important for me to try to be very honest about everything. Like even like how I got here, my parents helping me, knowing that it's a privilege. I think all of that stuff, I feel like I want to be really honest about it, or else like people are gonna feel like they're failing because they didn't have the same resources as me, or like the same luck or something like that. And I don't want people to feel like they're like, oh, what's wrong with me? Like Michelle said this, and this.
A constant comparison.
Yeah.
We were just talking about in the sense of like taking Instagram breaks, because I feel like Instagram is just one big breeding ground for the constant comparisons, because really everything is just everyone's highlight reel, and you forget that people have struggles and that they have their own issues.
Yeah, for sure.
You were telling me that you take Instagram breaks on the weekends. How has that, when did you start doing that, or has it always been a part of your day-to-day?
I just started doing it pretty recently because I think for a while I felt so pressured to be posting like once a day. Like I would be like, oh, I have nothing to post today. It would stress me out for the whole day. On the weekends, like I just want to disconnect. I want to just like be with my friends. I just started doing it zone out and just scroll, you know? So it really depends. Like some weekends I'm just fully on Instagram and I'm just using it, and other weekends I need a break.
I always wonder how people like post 3 times a day.
Yeah.
And I'm just in awe. Girl, this is a talent.
Yeah.
Shout out you, because that's a lot. I can't even take half a photo, and I'm like, okay, I'm putting this down.
Yeah. I hate like the stress of taking a photo when it's like you're just like, I have to take a picture of this outfit or something, and you're just, it's so stressful, like, because you're just
like, this doesn't look good.
Can someone take this picture? Who can take this, you know? And you're like,
and then you get someone who can't take a picture, and you're like, what the fuck is this? I just took a perfect photo of you in the light, and this has shadows all over it, and like, why can't you do?
I'm just like,
they took like 2. You're like, no, take 50. So I have stuff to choose from.
Yeah, try the different angles. I know. I feel like it's so funny because it's just so hard to find someone who's like down to really work with you. Because like I always have such a vision. I'm like, oh, I want it from this angle. I want my face to look like this, and then it just getting the lighting right. It's a whole shoot.
It is a whole shoot. The whole IG shoot.
Yeah.
My boyfriend's tired of me me. He's like, I'm done taking the photos. I'm like, on vacations though, like you have no choice.
Yeah, I know. I'm like that too. I'm like, you gotta help me, or else like you don't get the free stuff. You know, you don't get to reap the benefits of me getting free stuff if like you're not gonna help me take these pictures right now.
That's what I'm gonna play into our arguments, because now Lou got like a pair of Uggs for free for the Valentine's Day. And
oh my god,
I remember. It's so now. Cute. Oh my god. So now I'm just gonna be like, I'm taking away your Uggs, okay? Like, you don't take this photo. He's probably gonna listen to this and be like, you need to relax. What excites you about the fashion industry?
What has always excited me is young designers and new brands.
Any that come to mind?
I love Area. I love Christopher John Rogers. I loved Vaquera, all of these brands that are kind of making New York again, you know, or in London. Oh my god,
yeah, London is just so good.
The designers there, I'm just like, oh, I need to go to London Fashion Week. There's so many young new designers, and something that New York lacks that London has is like London like really supports them, like brings them up. Like Fashion East is. I look forward to that show every single year because I just cannot wait to see. They are really predicting who's going to be next.
They need to do a whole shop because it is so hard to find those, because you know they're young designers, so they're not like stocked anywhere. And I'm trying to email their sales email, like, God. Hey, like can I please just buy this? I know you have so much going on, but I really need this.
Yeah, you're like, just take my money. I know. Like also New York like has like Rue Zhao, who's like also so talented. And yeah, I think it's really exciting. Like that's the best part about being in the fashion industry is like learning these designers and their stories and
getting to know them.
Yeah, and watching them grow. Watching Area grow is, or like watching Egghouse Lotta grow.
Yeah.
You know, like when I was an intern, like Egghouse was like this like tiny little operation, and then like now I'm like, oh my god, I'm an editor. I grew and you guys also grew, you know, like we're all grown up now.
You're like, we're all grown up.
Yeah. It's like, hey guys.
They have the best pants.
I know.
They really do.
They're so cute.
They're like, it makes me want to like take a pair of my own pants and just like paint them or do some, but they would never
like
look
a
as
DIY
cool.
thing. Yeah, I know. I feel like
do
that's
you
what
still
happens
sew?
to me. I do a little bit. I'll like make easy. I'll like tailor my stuff. But not really anymore because I can recognize that like I'm not a designer. Like I don't have that in me, but being able to have that, understand the technical side, I think is really helpful.
Interesting. I can't sew for shit. One question that I wanted to ask is, do you feel like the fashion industry has enough Asian representation? Because a lot of the times when we're talking about diversity and inclusion, a lot of people just automatically think of Black people, and they tend to not realize that POCs is a way broader spectrum than just like the African American community. And I would love to understand like how you feel.
I definitely don't think that there's enough Asian representation. I feel like a lot of young designers are Asian, and they are kind of, so in that way, I'm kind of, it makes me excited because I'm like, ooh, all these like Asian designers. Anytime a designer's Asian, I'm pulling it.
Yeah.
We're pulling it for a story, you know? Yeah, I do wish that there were more. And I wish that it was more a celebration of them, you know? They're like, oh, I'm Asian. And this is my culture. I'm like reconstructing this fabric from my culture that I've had, you know? That like, it feels very proud to be Asian. Because I think a lot of times right now, I'm an Asian designer. I want to support them. That's really cool. But it doesn't have any Asian influence in it. There's not any like cultural influence within their story. They don't even talk about being Asian. In that way, I wish that there was more, people were more vocal, but it does make me excited to see so many Asian designers thriving in London, like Shu Shu Tong, like, and then also a lot of graduate programs. I think a lot of times, like when I'm scrolling through them and stuff, a lot of them are Asian, which makes me excited.
I know you mentioned like them speaking more about their experiences and their background and their culture, but what other progress would you like to see from the industry to nurture more Asian talent?
I do think it is kind of like not putting people of color in a box, right? I wish it weren't Asians versus like Black designers versus like Hispanic designers. Like it's just kind of, those designers should also be put up against white designers. Like, it should not just be
only one person can win.
Yeah, exactly.
Or
like,
one POC.
Yeah, and well, there are like 5 white designers and only 1 trophy POC designer. And you're kind of just, these other designers that you put in the POC box are just as good as that random white designer. So I think that, like, not being put into a box and competing against each other.
Who is one, I know you mentioned a few, but one designer you're most excited for, like, that's coming out of New York?
I'm really excited about Private Policy. I think the construction is really good, and I think they just have a vision. Also PH5, like, I think PH5 is just always, like, the material is so good, and the vision that they have, like, their mission of, like, kind of being like Chinese manufacturing isn't all trash. Like, it isn't all like bad quality. Like, trying to really reverse that stereotype, it is really exciting to me.
I love them.
Yeah.
They had that hot cider at the
oh, so good.
I like walked in and I was like, it smells like hot cider. And she's like, yeah, we have some. Like, this is the best day of my life.
Also the windiest day.
It was
so
so
it was like
windy.
Perfect for hot cider.
Holy shit. That is the day that I thought I was gonna die in a wind tunnel.
Yeah.
I was going to some, I think Tanya Taylor, I don't even know what it was, but I got stuck in a wind tunnel, and who was I with? I was with 2 of my colleagues, and they got out of it before me, and I was stuck there with like these 2 little kids that were leaving school, and I was like reaching for them because I was terrified.
Oh my god,
I couldn't breathe, and I was like,
yeah, it knocks your breath out. You're like, oh my god, I can't breathe.
I'm gonna die here.
On 11th Avenue. You're just like,
god,
I'm gonna get blown into the river,
literally, and it's
drown.
freezing.
Yeah,
I was not dressed well enough. I was like wearing a skirt that has slit in it, and I'm like, great. This is great. Well, speaking of that, like, you are the MVP of street style. You are the street style star. Yes, you are. Don't even look at me like that. I guess we kind of touched upon this before, but how would you describe your style now?
I feel like I used to always be so scared of wearing something that I was scared that people would be like, oh, that doesn't seem like something Michelle would wear. And now I feel like more unapologetic, where I'm just like, I can be whoever I want. Like, any morning, like, I might wear like all black, or I might wear like every color, or like a trench coat, you know? Like, I feel like my style represents like all of my different personalities, different sides of me. So I think for me, I'm very all over the place, but like, I'm always down to try everything and make something feel like me.
I love when you pattern mix.
Yeah, I love pattern. I love like mixing patterns, wearing like big shoulders still. I'm not really a blazer person. I really trying to be.
You wore a really good one Fashion Week. That black one. What was that?
It was Material Tbilisi.
It's nice.
I know. I'm trying to be more of a blazer person, but I think for me, I love like big sweaters, like just like a lot of color.
And some coziness.
Especially
with our weather.
Some oversized pieces. Yeah.
What are you currently eyeing to buy?
I really want one of those Cecily Bonson dresses.
Oh, yeah.
I've been eyeing it for a while, and I have like credit on like online. So I'm really trying. But for me, I'm just like, I have to buy it on sale.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, now that all the spring summer stuff is coming out, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna wait until like August, and then I'm gonna buy it for myself for my birthday. And like, so yeah, I played the long game, August 12th.
So you're a
Leo,
yeah.
But I play the long game when I'm buying things. I feel like I really watch it.
Nice.
I feel like, yeah.
You don't get like anxiety that it's gonna be gone.
No, I think it's the Asian anxiety in me. I feel like I'm like get so excited about a deal, you know? My mom and I are so similar in that way. We're like, oh my god, I got this jacket for $10, but then it was on sale again, so I called them and got a price adjustment. You know, like we are so,
I need that energy.
So like that. Like, so I'm just gonna wait it out, and if it goes out of stock, then it wasn't meant to be, I guess.
Yeah, no, that's good. Have you been more intentional with the things that you buy, especially just with climate change and our environment, and just the role that fashion industry plays into all of it?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like I really don't buy anything anymore. But I think it's also because we get so much stuff gifted to us that, like, I don't feel like I need to buy anything. I don't feel like I need to buy anything new to have that new clothing feeling.
Got it.
That's because we get gifted so much. It's kind of just like, oh, like I get to just try this new clothing out, and like I get that new clothing energy, you know.
And
but
it's
then
that
you get
unboxing feel.
yeah. So like, because in college, I remember I would just like buy stuff because I wanted something new, and now I feel like I can just kind of chill. I rewear like the same outfit like all the time.
Do you vintage shop at all?
I do a little bit, but I'm not very good at it. I don't have the patience for it.
Where do you go?
I go to L Train Vintage a lot. And then sometimes I'll go to Metropolis. And then I go to 10 Foot Single by Stella Dallas.
I feel like you would like Beacons in Williamsburg.
Would I?
Yeah. I found a Vaquera top and
Really?
Polina Strada piercing top and a hoodie for so cheap, and I was shook. I was like clinging on to it so no one could see.
Wait, that's so crazy.
I think you should check it out because it might change your idea.
Yeah,
and
maybe
same
I'll
with the
try
break.
it.
The
Yeah,
break is good.
I like the break.
Yeah.
I've gone to the break a few times. That whole area, like Dobbin Street, like I love all of their stuff.
Dobbin Street.
So
They
good.
just expanded the store.
I know.
It's insane.
It's so pretty in there.
I wanted to live there, and they had a dog, and I was like, this is my apartment. I'm like, this is my apartment. Are you? I see. Like, I love how Tahira like is so transparent with like what's gifted and what she's bought. Like, are you thinking of like being more transparent in like what? In the sense of like your clothing pictures or just in general about like what you get gifted and not?
I think so. I definitely want to try to be more transparent about it because like I do feel people feel shitty if they like, wait, how are they getting all this stuff? I can't afford that. So yeah, I'm definitely trying to be more transparent.
I definitely read an article on how like these young peak girls and guys are just like going into debt, like credit card debt, because they're trying to keep up with the appearances of a social media influencer and all of that. And I remember just me growing up and seeing all the street style photos and being like, how do they have 8 outfits and then they go into Europe and then they have like 10 more outfits and they're all new designer? Like, how are they doing this? And I feel like it wasn't until like last year where I realized, oh, it's just borrowed or like gifted. I'm like, this shit is crazy. It's such a crazy concept. It can make you go mad.
Yeah. But I think it's also like not being afraid to post the same outfit twice.
Yeah.
Like if you're like, I don't know, like I feel like I know a lot of my colleagues will be like, oh, I've already taken a picture in this sweater. The next time, like I'll still wear this sweater. The next picture I post, like I'm not going to be wearing this sweater. That makes sense, but it's also, it makes people think that you just wear things once and throw it away, and that's like an acceptable way to like consume clothing.
It's like all about the show.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't wear the same thing over and over.
Yeah. I remember in high school, even in college, people would like make fun of me because they would be like, you're such an outfit repeater.
You're like, okay.
I'm like, this is a fucking good outfit. This is a better outfit than any of your new outfits combined. So
well, that's like when Tiffany Haddish bought that dress and she wore it again at another.
Oh yeah,
I'm like, shout out her, because that's an expensive ass dress. Hell yeah, you're gonna get the wear out of it.
Yeah, like I wore the same prom dress 2 years in a row.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I re-wore my prom dress for my aunt's like her birthday.
Yeah.
And I was so nervous. I was like, I hope I fit into it. Do you think before we close out, like have you found like your tribe here in New York City, like your support system, like that, you know, those friends that you can just easily go to and just shoot the shit, like you're just chatting, don't have to even think about it?
Yeah, I think I have. I think I have, but I haven't found a friend group. I think that's what I really miss, is like having like a group of friends and we hang out like every Saturday night and we're just like all friends with each other. Like I feel like for me, I have like friends in like all these different little groups and circles, but I don't have like a full group, which is what I really miss. Like, because then it feels like more of a community.
Yeah.
But here it's kind of just like, oh, I just like text people randomly and we'll get dinner. I'll go out with them. But like, it's never it's never we're all hanging out playing board games, you know.
Do you ever like get lonely?
Yeah, for sure. I'm like it's like so hard for me because I'm introverted, so like I need to be by myself to like regain my energy. But then I also am just like, oh, I miss people. Like, you know.
And then you feel a little bit guilty for taking that time for yourself.
Yeah. But I definitely get so lonely in the city.
Same. I was dealing with it literally this weekend, because I was like, no, I need to take this weekend and just like do what I need to do, but also spend time with myself. But then I'll go on like Instagram and I'll like see the stories and everyone's having fun, and I'll be, I want to have fun.
Yeah. Oh my God, me too. Especially you like make a decision not to go to something, or like you're like, oh, I just want to like, I want to do this, you know, and like I don't want to do that, and like, but then you see everyone going and doing something, and you're just like, fuck, like now I feel bad.
You're like, damn, that looked like a really fun party.
Yeah. Even though you're like, I actually really enjoyed being at home.
Yeah. And I needed the sleep.
Yeah. I know. I feel like that's what's always so hard.
One question that I always ask my guests is, what would you like your legacy to be?
Ooh.
I know.
I think it sounds really cheesy, but I think I want my legacy to be that people are inspired to be more thoughtful about the clothing they wear and like have fun with it and let it represent themselves. Like taking the time to let clothing represent who you are.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
How can we keep in touch with you?
You can follow me on Instagram. I'm Hi Michelle Lee.
Love it. Are you on Twitter?
I'm not on Twitter.
I'm
not funny enough to be on Twitter.
I'm on Twitter, but I don't tweet anything. I literally just stalk it.
I know. I need to know what Twitter accounts to follow, because I don't know any funny ones, but it seems like everything funny happens on Twitter before it happens anywhere else. So I like want to be on it, but I just don't know how.
I think you need to. I only like, I have like 3 of my friends' accounts that I follow, and I just go to their likes, and it's like the funniest shit.
That's smart.
I'll share them with you. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Naomi.
Bye, guys.
Bye. 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 Bye.